everyone. I'm here. I was just trying to set up the screen recording. We're going to wait for a few minutes for everyone else to join and then we'll get started.
I think you're still muted, Jen.
Thank you, Desiree. Thank you. Sorry about that. I was saying we're going to wait for a few minutes for everyone else to join and then we're going to get started. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about how this is going to go, just throw them out there.
Are we supposed to have our cameras on?
I would appreciate it if you can, but if not, no worries.
What is the theme of this? Should I say story or what is the theme of it?
So this is a thriller. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. Just give me a sec. Let's wait for a second and then I'll get into it.
Can you text me the scripts, please? My phone is acting up.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh, I have a question. Are you going to give us a preview of what the script is about? As you know, like how people want to publish a movie, they give you like headlines.
Yes, I will send that. I will I'm on mute.
I think yeah.
Sorry. Yes, I will give a brief introduction to the script in a second.
Wait, I do have a question.
Yes.
Dennis, there's like so we're reading two scripts because we got two parts.
No, just one script. Those are characters in the same script. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I don't know how this works out. Okay.
No, I understand. We have actual actors here and people who've never acted before, so I get it. Yeah. Ask all the questions. Sandra, did you get the script?
I think she left. She said her phone was getting her problem.
Okay.
Are you going to display the script, or we all have to just go on our phones or our computers and look at it?
So I won't be able to display. What do you guys think? Because I'm trying to record this as well, so it might look a little bit, you know. But if you're ever lost, just drop a comment in the chat and we'll help you find the page.
I just have a suggestion. Hope you guys don't mind. You know how we used to read in high school at certain time? So like just an idea. Maybe I've already given out the idea already, but like when you those that are reading, when you get to the next setting or to the next scene page, please just like call it out so that those of us who don't have this script who are not participating can be able to catch up.
So Karina, everyone already has their lines and their characters. I can send you the script right now. Like I said, if you're lost, just drop it in the chat and someone is going to help you find the page. Which is going to be like page 6. Yeah. So I'll send you the script right now too, so it's easy for you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, girl, we're ready.
All right, give me 1
exciting.
minute. All right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Before we do, I want to thank everyone for joining. If you don't mind, if you're not talking, please mute yourself so we can have clear audio. Destiny, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys so much for making the time to come to my table read. It really means the world to me that you're here, and I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on in your life and with work and everything. So thank you so much for making the time. So today we're going to be going through the first script I ever wrote. I wrote this back in 2016, but over the years it's been rewritten to death. And last year I did like a 5th rewrite to it, and I changed it all the way. And so the script I had in 2016 is completely different from this one, just like the main plot line is the same. But if you didn't get the chance to go through the script, here's the short description of what it is about. In an attempt to keep herself out of prison, a delinquent young woman strikes a deal with a stranger and agrees to take her identity, only to find out that the woman is wanted by the CIA, the FBI, the mafia, and several organized crime groups. So the script is 59 pages long, and yeah, it's a thriller, it is a drama, and it's a coming of age story as well. And I think that's basically everything I need to say. Sorry guys, this is my first ever table read as well, so we're gonna learn a lot today. But before we get started, I would like for us to kind of go around and introduce ourselves and kind of say the character you're going to be reading for, and then we're going to go ahead and start reading. So I'm going to start first. My name is Janice Niam, and I am going to be reading the scene descriptions. I really wanted someone else to do it, but I didn't want to have actors join us and then read scene descriptions, because scene descriptions isn't acting. So I was like, I will carry that burden for us. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. Hi everyone, I'm Destiny Mokake, and I am reading the part of Zoe. I can go next. Hi everyone, my name is Tamara Buchanan, and I'm reading the part of Rita, Legend, Polly, and Pop.
Hi guys, I'm Nino. Oh, sorry. My name is Nino Tandilashvilik. I'm just going to be reading the part of Wendy.
Hello everyone, my name is Harlan. I'm reading the parts of Miles, Peter, Casey, and Roboto Pongo.
Hi guys, my name is Charles C. and I'm going to be reading the part of the bully and Sherry.
Hi, I'm Jessie Zucker. I'm going to be reading the parts of Savannah, Evelyn, and Reconstructed.
Hi everyone, my name is Aiden Hector. I'm reading the part of Holston, Gerald, and Ben.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine. I'll be Recruiter 2, Gabrielle, and Maria.
Hi, my name is BC. I'm reading the part of Lisa and Lena.
Hello, my name is Leandra, and I'll be reading the parts of Recruiter 1, Liberty and Reed.
Hi everybody.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry guys. Hi everyone. My name is Karetna. I'm just listening. Sorry guys, I'm kind of busy, but I'll just give my own review. Thanks.
Hi, good to meet you all. My name is Denise. I am reading the part of Katja and the Short Woman.
Hi, my name is John. I'm reading part of Pearl, the Dispatcher, and the Coach.
Anyone else want to introduce themselves or get? All right. We are gonna go ahead and get started. I'll just give you guys a minute to like get your scripts ready. I'm gonna drink some water because I'm reading a lot.
Are you still recording?
Yes, I'm still recording. Everyone okay? Good to go? All right. My Fellow Americans, They Are Going to Kill You, written by Janice Niam. 2023 draft. Code open. Interior classroom, day, flashback. High school students wait for the final bell of the day.
Most people do not believe miracles, but I do. I have since the very first day I met Savannah.
Wendy, 14, chubby, sits next to Lena, 14, gorgeous. The two are engrossed in a 2013 Teen Vogue magazine. A bully, 14, female, watches them. Bully? Chels, I think that's you. Okay, our bully is off the clock. I'll read for bully. Hey Lena, so is Wendy like your best friend? Wendy smiles and Lena nods. Adelina and nods.
No.
Okay.
My best friend goes to Rosewood.
Everyone laughs. Wendy sinks into her seat. Interior, bedroom, day, flashback continued. Wendy runs into her room, kneels beside her bed, claps her hands and closes her eyes.
Dear God, please send me a best friend. I was desperate. I had never asked God for anything before, but he answered me. Exactly 30 minutes later.
The power goes out. Wendy opens her eyes. Exterior, apartment building, night, 30 minutes later. Wendy sits on the steps reading a comic book with a flashlight. A bunch of kids play while their parents watch.
And that's when I saw her.
Wendy looks up to see Savannah, 14, wild card, rule breaker, running directly towards her with a big smile. Wendy looks confused. Savannah drapes her arm around her and yells.
I won't be alone. She's coming with.
Savannah whines to her older brother Jack, 18, laid back. Fine. Just don't stay out till 1. Sorry. Fine. Just don't stay out till 1 a.m. like last night. Interior, 7-Eleven, night. Flashback continued. Savannah hands Wendy a multicolored Slurpee and continues slurping her own.
I have to mix all the flavors. Otherwise, it tastes like condensed duck you spit in duck urine.
Wendy chuckles and tries the drink. She takes a longer slurp.
If I had to choose between my brother and a Slurpee machine, over here.
Savannah waves over Holston, 14, weary eyes. Exterior, street, night, flashback continued. Savannah, Wendy, and Holston walk home with Slurpees in hand. Savannah offers them a cigarette. Wendy shakes her head. Holston takes it. They walk in silence. Savannah finishes her Slurpee and tosses the cup.
Wait right here.
She turns around and sprints back to 7-Eleven. Holston exhales a cloud of smoke. Wendy hugs her frame.
She's texting you. She wants to see if you'll leave.
He sits on the curb. Wendy hesitates before joining him. Moments later, Savannah returns with 3 Slurpees, beaming. They each take one and continue their trek.
That night, I got 2 best friends, Savannah Pearson and Holston Rivers. But this story isn't about me. And to be honest, I shouldn't be telling you any of this. Why?
Brain freeze.
Savannah winces and playfully falls on Holston. The 7-Eleven receipt falls from her pocket. Before it is carried away by the wind, we see the balance. Total, $3.97. Date, January 23rd, 2011. Interior, podcast studio. Day, present day. Adult Wendy, 26, young, hungry, and it shows. She sits in front of a mic. She is alone, but there are a few people watching her through the transparent walls. She continues.
Because her life depends on it.
She looks down. The same receipt from that night stays on her desk. She picks it up. Total, $3.97. Date, January 23rd, 2011.
Before we embark on this journey together, there are some important things I want to get out of the way. Except for names and places, which have been changed to protect the identities of each individual, every aspect of the story is true. So no, my name isn't actually Wendy. Savannah and Holston aren't the real names of my 2 best friends. I understand if you feel I may have misled you, that is not my intention. I hate to sound blunt, but whether you believe me or not does not matter. Again, the story isn't about me. It's about you.
And cold open. Act 1. Interior, police car. Night. Parked.
Just say it.
Holston, now 26, much broader build, same weary eyes, waits with Miles, 26, goofball, Holston's partner and friend.
Holston cleaned up his act after college and decided to join the boys in blue.
Fine. I'm only telling you this because I love you like a brother. But I don't truly get what Zoe sees in you.
Ouch.
But she is clearly crazy about you. Look, if you see a future with her, you need to take the next step. Tell her that you're serious.
They're interrupted by the police radio.
Oops, sorry. We got 1011 on Mason Drive.
This is Holston.
That's the 5th time this week we've done that. I'm gonna say something when we get back.
Sure you are.
The radio comes in again.
B&E at the dealership on Chesapeake. Vehicle is a 2021 Holston.
Miles and Holston are responding. We're on it.
Copy. Sending over vehicle security GPS tracking. Suspect might be armed. Approach with caution.
Did she just say?
Holston shakes his head and starts the car. Exterior, CIA HQ, day. We zoom past the iconic Central Intelligence Agency logo at the entrance and settle on another logo, Shepherd. It is plastered on the door of a run-down building. Interior, Shepherd HQ, lobby, day. Norman Pearl, 40, Southern Charm, follows behind Harvey, 60s, Chief of Operations. Sounds like a late 90s rapper.
They're settling in quite well. My son calls it the White House, which isn't a complete stretch. Our old house back in San Antonio would look a lot like a barn standing next to it.
Do we have a Harvey present? Okay, I don't think Wolfgang is here. I'm going to read for Harvey. We wanted to make sure your family felt welcomed. I wouldn't bullshit you. Crofton isn't the sexiest city in the world, but it's quiet and boring, which makes it perfect for our operations. Interior, Shepherd HQ, conference room, day. Pearl and Harvey enter. 15 young cadets, mid to late 20s, casually dressed, turn away from the briefing instructor, 30s, female, to look at them. Please welcome one of FBI's best, Special Agent Norman Pearl.
Norman Pearl, loving husband, caring father. The only thing he loves more than family, a mission impossible.
I only found out this place existed 2 days ago. I hope you'll be gracious with me as I get acquainted.
Harvey nods for the briefing agent to continue. A headshot of a middle-aged woman, Polly Sanders, 57, elegant, intimidating, appears on the overhead screen.
It's been 49 hours since Polly disappeared. She went completely dark during her meeting with Boz Davidson, CEO of MarsDogs, the flashy new NFT art collective that's taking over Silicon Valley. Boz is the apex predator of the black market world. The art MarsDogs sells is merely a cover for their real business transactions. Killers for hire, organ theft, all sorts of trafficking, drug, arms dealings. It took Polly 6 years to get in the same room as him.
Polly is our lamb. She took down 14 of Baz's guys over the last few years. But last year, he went digital with his transactions. Dark web NFTs. He might be the devil incarnate, but one thing he can't be accused of is stupidity.
What does that mean? Lame.
Right, my bad. So, Shepard recruits cadets from all over the country. They undergo rigorous undercover trainings and they get an advanced education on how to kill. All cadets then compete against each other in front of the CIA. We call it the harvest. Last man standing becomes the lamb, an undercover combatant who works with the CIA and carries out lawful targeted killings.
What happens to the other recruits?
They are invited to interview for the CIA as operatives. And when the appointed lamb reaches retirement age or is killed, we recruit a new class. Your job is to find Polly. We have reason to believe she's gone rogue. Join the other side.
When we spoke on the phone, you failed to mention the part where she is an undercover killer agent who is literally the best in the country.
Would that have mattered? Pearl smirks. Didn't think so. Anyway, Polly was slated to retire later this year. With her gone, we are left without a lamb. Since Shepard was founded in the 1920s, the country has never been without a lamb. That is, until 2 days ago.
Who's going to be her replacement?
Harvey glances at cadets Benedict Gold, 26, loner, mullet, goes by Ben, and Zoe Doyle, 26, overachiever, pixie cut. Ben looks absent-minded. Zoe, on the other hand, is laser-focused on the briefing, taking notes. It was going to be a coin toss between those two. Both are top of their class. Interior airport night. Polly walks through a crowd. When she nears the security camera, she shields her face. We see a scar the shape of a leaf on the back of her hand. Interior, car dealership, night. Luxury cars, it's quiet. Savannah, now in her mid-20s, grunge, rises from behind the reception desk with a large bunch of keys in hand. She stops by the red car on center display. Interior, car, night, moving. Savannah takes a selfie of herself driving the stolen car. She texts it to someone named Ice Queen. Savannah, 4/5. Oh, sorry, I'll just read those. Savannah, 4 out of 5. What else you got?
Unlike Holston, Savannah chose the opposite side of the law.
Savannah sees a cop car behind her and hears the sirens. Savannah, you said the trackers on these could only be activated by customers. Ice Queen, did I?
Ugh, okay, breathe.
She accelerates at full speed and turns into a quiet neighborhood. She loses the cops and tries to disable the GPS. It asks for a 4-digit PIN.
Of course.
She enters 000, then 0001, 0002. The screen displays one more attempt. She closes her eyes and taps in 4 random numbers. She opens her eyes and sees she's about to crash into an oncoming vehicle. She swerves.
System shutdown activated.
What? No.
The vehicle slows down to a halt. The police car approaches behind her. She taps the locked dashboard screen, trying to wake it up.
Hands where I can see him.
She places her hands on the wheels. Miles and Holston approach with guns pulled.
Are there any weapons in the vehicle, ma'am?
What? No, just my phone.
Savannah picks up her phone from the dashboard.
Hands where I can see.
Savannah holds up the phone and turns to Holston.
You're kidding me.
Holston sees her face and puts away the gun. Miles, too.
I'll give it to you. For a moment there, you actually sounded like real cops.
We are.
Her room, I think it's you.
We are real.
Her phone rings. It's ice queen. She holds up her pointer finger at Miles and rolls up her window.
What the hell? You set me up. You know I can do the job. You're scared I'll overshadow you. Just admit it.
Miles looks at Holston.
She's going through a lot right now. You know that.
Not after last time.
Holston knocks on the door. She opens it. Jesse, I think it's you.
Yeah, I think she's let's give her a moment.
Sorry, something just happened to me.
Oh.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Is it when I make it out?
Yes.
When I make it out, when do you say I pay you a visit? Give you a chance to say to my face, you.
Holston grabs the phone from her and hangs up. She hands him the keys and exits the car. She goes over to their car and sits in the front seat.
I know. Just sit in the back. Unless you want to hear her complain about not having enough legroom all the way back to the station.
I'll probably do a trip to pick up the keys tomorrow.
Can I have my phone back?
Yeah, when you get out in 6 to 8 years.
Funny.
Savannah looks at Holston. He is as serious as a heart attack. Interior, police station, night. Holston and Miles usher in Savannah, handcuffed. Rita, 40s, chief of police, is on the way out of the office.
You're muted.
After Holston's foster parents decided to retire early and go on a Caribbean couples cruise during his junior year, Rita took him in and raised him as her own.
I'm not dealing with this today. Put her in holding.
Holston follows behind her.
Chief,
The owner wants to press charges.
there has to be someone you can talk to. Come on, you know Savannah since she's just lost.
Maybe it's not your job to try and find her. You heard me. She spends the night here.
Interior, Drive magazine, podcast studio, day. Floor-to-ceiling framed covers of old Drive magazine issues line the walls. The covers show hyper-masculine men driving sports cars, hunting, shaving, think GQ or Esquire. Wendy enters. Peter, 30s, Wendy's boss, yells at the technician who is hanging a sign which reads, Drive, for life we lust.
Left. My left. God, right there.
Wendy stares longingly at the host's seat and mic.
Do you need...
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to run some ideas for my submission by you.
Right now? Listen, all you need to do is know that the folks upstairs want to diversify. You don't have the luxury of being a men's-only magazine anymore. The Drive is going to survive another decade. We need this podcast to draw in more mainstream audience.
I'm actually reworking Young Disgraces to appeal to...
Wait, is that the same idea you were trying to pitch 6 months ago? Wendy, we are trying to launch a premium live audio experience that people will blow off their Friday night plans for.
I just think that if I change the subjects...
No. Wendy, do you understand that whoever gets that seat gets a direct line to the American people? Really think about that. What do you have to say? And why should America care?
Interior, Shepherd, office, day. Pearl unpacks a box. He grabs a framed picture of his wife.
You wanted to see me?
Zoe stands in the doorway. Pearl motions for her to sit.
Zoe Doyle, thanks for stopping by. I'm not going to take up much of your time, so let's get right to it. How would you describe your last interaction with Polly?
No, I didn't suspect she was going to run off with $500,000 if that's what you're asking. Sorry.
You two were close.
Harvey is wrong. She didn't turn. Bass has her. We should be out there trying to get her back.
Pearl hands her a folder. She sees a photo of Polly at the airport and recognizes the leaf scar on Polly's hand.
Airport security cameras. She's gone.
Am I dismissed, sir?
Pearl. And you can go.
Interior auditorium day. A reception of an award ceremony. Very important people. Pearl enters. He sees Ben talking to Casey Gold, 50s, perfectly pressed suit. Pearl approaches them.
Polly turning is a good thing, son. In less than 6 months, you'll take her plate. Just keep doing your part.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
Dad, this is Agent Pearl. He's working Polly's case.
Casey Gold.
They shake hands.
Congratulations, Mr. Gold. Harvey mentioned you were getting the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Intelligence Bureau.
Actually, that would be my father, Daniel.
Casey glances over at his father, Daniel Gold, 80s, resting IDGAF face. Daniel is having his photo taken by a legion of photographers.
My apologies, I didn't know that.
I'll soon find you, my dear.
Casey leaves. Pearl and Ben sit at the table.
I kind of overheard the back half of your conversation there.
Polly and my dad came up in the same class. She got to be a lamb. He did not. My grandfather made him quit the agency altogether. He couldn't stand to have his legacy soiled.
I'd imagine. Your grandfather was lamb for 3 decades. I'm guessing that pressure was passed down to you.
Pearl follows Ben's gaze over to his grandfather.
Harvey told me Polly was set to retire at the end of the year. You're top of your class, near perfect scores.
Scores don't matter here. You either win the harvest or you don't.
Pearl shows him the photo of Polly at the airport.
Zoe still seems to think Polly was kidnapped.
We all kind of thought Polly was preparing her to take her place. She was always very hard on Zoe.
Okay. Benedict. Where's Benedict? Thank you, whoever that was. Daniel and the rest of Ben's family, including his mom, 50s, platinum blonde, and grandmother, 80s, gather around for a picture.
I gotta.
Pearl nods. He watches Ben pose with his family.
Despite his father's opposition, Ben's grandfather, Daniel Gold, had began training Ben for the harvest from the age of 3.
Daniel makes Casey move down so Ben can stand beside him.
Ben understood very quickly that losing was not an option.
Interior, Drive Magazine, HQ, cubicle, day. Wendy works at her desk. Her phone buzzes. It's Savannah.
Hey,
Intercut with Savannah at the station. Interior, police station, hallway, day. Savannah talks into a landline. She's still wearing the clothes she was arrested in.
Wendy, it's Savannah.
I know, around the 7th time you got arrested, I figured I should probably save this number.
So, you get to pitch the Young Disgraces idea yet? Sharing stories about young people who already feel like they failed at life is not only a brilliant idea, but it'll also help a lot of people realize they're not alone. Oh, and I think I know the perfect guest for your first podcast episode. Hint, it's me. I could do it from jail too, wouldn't that be sick?
What'd you do this time, Savannah?
Well, might have gone a little too far this time.
How bad?
I better call Saul Band.
Savannah.
I have to go.
Interior, Rita's office, day. Rita sits. Savannah and Holston stand.
I'd like to talk to Savannah alone. Is that okay?
Holston exits. Rita gets up and brews a cup of coffee.
Most people hate the idea of sharing their birthday with Jesus, but not Holston. The night before he turned 5, he was so excited. He couldn't sleep. When the big day finally arrived, I gave him $5, all in change, to make him think he had more money than he really did. Did he ever tell you this story?
Savannah shakes her head.
Long story short, he ended up choking on a coin. His mom tried several times to make him go to the hospital, but he insisted he was okay. So she let him be. He went about with the penny in his system with no problems at all. 2 months later, his mom calls in tears. An ulcer had been forming in the intestine from where the coin was stuck. At 5 years old, he underwent bowel surgery. Surgery meant for 65-year-old men. Even though his mom never said it, I knew she blamed me for it. That is why I took a step back from their lives. Savannah, your graduation party was only the beginning.
That's not fair.
You knew he was going to be surrounded by drugs. He OD'd and you did nothing.
I was 17.
Savannah wipes her eyes.
You're not 17 anymore.
Rita drops a folder in front of her.
Breaking and entering, auto theft. If your plan was to join your brother in prison, have I got good news for you. You're looking at 7 years, 5 minimum.
Exterior, hospital, night. Zoe waits at the entrance. A car pulls over. Interior, car, night. Zoe enters and kisses Holston. They drive off.
How's Savannah? Gosh, she must be scared out of her mind.
The owner's pressing charges. Rita's having her transferred to county in a few hours.
It couldn't have been easy bringing her in.
Maybe Rita's right. This might just be what Savannah needs.
Holston notices Zoe looks worried.
Everything okay at the hospital?
Yeah, I'm just tired.
Exterior, fire station, night. Ben steps out of the fire truck with 2 of his colleagues, Reed, 30s, and Kevin, 30s.
Ben spent almost all of his time outside of Shepherd as a volunteer firefighter.
Is Sandra there? If not, I shall read. Okay, there she is.
What page 120 something, right?
Page 18, bottom. Read.
Make sure to get all the seats out of the water pipes before the next call.
Kevin. Okay, that's me. Come on, let the kid get some sleep.
It's fine, I can do it tonight.
While you're at it,
I got it.
Ben cleans the pipes with extreme care. He moves on to the laundry and starts the washer. When he's done, he idly looks around for something else to do.
Ben kept his work at the station a secret. The truth was, this place was the only thing keeping him sane.
Ben pulls out a stretcher bed and lays down. Moments later, he falls asleep.
When things got too quiet, he could feel himself losing control.
We fade into Ben's dream. Interior, office building, day, dream. There's a fire. A black smoke makes it hard to see. People head for the exit. Ben, Kevin, and Reed rush inside the building. They stop at a conference room.
stand back.
Reed kicks the door open. When he looks back, Kevin is on the floor with a bullet in his head. Can you please mute Sandra? Reed looks to Ben, who points a gun right at his head and pulls the trigger. Reed drops dead. Ben enters the conference room. People hide under the long table, coughing up from the smoke.
Please, help. My daughter.
Ben thought being around people who saved lives would fix him. He was wrong. All it did was show him what he was missing out on.
Ben sees the girl, 12, lying on the table. There are fresh burns all over her body. She barely moves as she cries. Ben guns down everyone except for the girl. He sits back and watches her take her last breath. Interior, fire station, night. Ben wakes up in a cold sweat. He takes something out of his bag and heads into the bathroom. Interior, fire station, bathroom, night. He takes off his shirt and turns his back towards the mirror. We see multiple scarred lines across his back.
Ben promised himself he wasn't going to be one of those heartless killers you see on TV, the ones who kill innocent people for fun.
He holds up a scalpel and makes a long incision across his lower back. Blood seeps to the floor.
If he was going to kill, it was going to be for his country. Now all he needed to do was become the next lamb.
End Act 1. Act 2. Interior, Shepherd, shooting range, day. Cadets shoot at paper targets. Zoe pulls her target forward. 2 bullets missed. Ben pulls his. No misses. He replaces the target and aims. Interior, Shepherd, gym, day. Cadets gather around and watch a defense coach, Eric, demonstrate a sleek defense takedown on a recruit. Zoe and Ben are paired. Ben goes first and succeeds in taking down Zoe in his first try.
Golden, nice work.
Zoe tries, but Ben remains standing.
Zoe, focus, again.
Zoe tries again. Seeing her struggle, Ben purposefully allows himself to be pinned down.
That's it.
When the coach turns away, Zoe turns to Ben.
Again, I didn't ask you to do that.
They resume their stances. Zoe tries again and fails. On her third try, she manages to slam Ben down. Interior, Shepherd, classroom, day. Recruits each open up a folded piece of paper. Their instructor, legend, 40s, brilliant, stands in front of the room. We see his paper is blank.
Not your mark.
We see her paper is also blank.
Not your mark.
We see her paper is blank.
Not your mark.
We see his paper has a large black mark on it. When they arrive at the last recruit, Legend saunters to the back of the room. She exhales and points to Ben. Ben unfolds his paper and holds it up, defeated. The cadets... Question? Okay. The cadets whine as they try to figure out how she got it right.
And there's another. Diana, can I see your paper, please?
Another recruit, Diana, holds up her marked piece of paper. More whining from the class.
Ben, great body language. Diana, impeccable tone of voice. But what do I keep saying every single week?
Breathe. Dead people can't lie.
A bad liar tries to keep calm and collected, but their body senses their own fear gives them away.
Interior, jail cell, night. Savannah trims the toenails of her cellmate, Pop, early 30s. Constantly looks like she just smelled feces.
Make sure you get in between them corns.
Savannah tries to Savannah tries to mask her disgust and keeps trimming.
Tell me, what would you be doing right now on the outside if you weren't dumb enough to get caught?
My friends and I have been doing this thing where we go to one-star restaurants on Friday nights.
And why would anyone do that?
Do I think it's scary that people are so quick to dismiss something based solely on the thoughts and opinions of complete strangers?
This seems to resonate with Pop.
My bail will be posted by tomorrow. As soon as I get out of here, I'm getting myself a mega bowl of crab.
Ah! You want to kill me? Who sent you?
Pop kicks Savannah hard in the nose. Savannah feels the blood running down her face.
I already told you that yellow nub is not a bunion.
Pop mean mugs Savannah and reaches underneath her mattress to grab something. Savannah backs away and bangs on the door. A corrections officer, 40s, male, approaches. He opens the door and motions for Savannah to follow him. Interior, Drive magazine, Wendy's cubicle, day. Wendy deletes a document titled Young Disgraces. BC, that's you. Page 23, bottom, Lisa.
Say that again, who?
BC.
I think it's business.
Is she there? I'll read it. We're gonna grab lunch at that new pizza place on Annapolis. She looks up to see her coworker, Lisa, late 20s, pantsuit and red bottom heels.
Sorry, I can't.
Lisa sees her scream. I didn't realize you were still. I'll let you get back to it.
Wait, did you already?
Yeah, last week. But you know, I'm a lunatic. Not saying I'd kill for that seat, but I'm not saying I wouldn't either. Wendy chuckles.
That wasn't a joke.
Sorry, that's Lisa's line actually. Typo. Lisa saunters away. Interior, shepherd, the floor, day. The circular room with an elevated stage sits at the center. Legend and Pearl stand on the stage, waiting. Moments later, Zoe and Ben enter and take a seat.
We have a tip about an exclusive VIP party being hosted by Boz.
They plan to reveal their expansion strategy, which involves making their services available to the layman, and not just the dirt rich.
What about Polly? Did the tip mention anything on her?
Legend glances at Pearl.
Zoe, Polly is probably halfway across the world by now. This is the first step in tracking her down.
Our source was able to get you both on the list.
Legend hands Ben and Zoe a packet.
When is the party?
In 18 hours.
They open the packets to find IDs and briefs.
Ben, you are Aaron Covington, a 26-year-old ex-wedding DJ who created one of the first ever music NFTs. Last year, the NFT trader came across your work and minted you into the Billionaire Club.
And Zoe, you are Lauren Bradshaw. Lauren is an ex-law student who won the Powerball in 2020. She decided to put half of her wins into NFTs and have used the profits to start a vegan restaurant chain.
Both covers are based on real people. Now, they will help you blend in. Your mission is to find out more about Mars Dog's operations and, most importantly, find a way for us to make a purchase.
The only way we can gain access into their marketplace is to own a dog. There are currently 111 dogs out there. Each costs $500,000. But no one is selling because it's the hottest product on the open sea. We were able to purchase quite a few under Polly's name. But since she isn't here, we need another set of eyes in there.
Interior prison bathroom, night. The officer ushers Savannah inside and exits. Savannah washes the blood from her face.
Their stall.
Savannah is startled. She moves towards the stall and pushes it open. An iPad sits on the toilet tank. A chair is stationed in front of the iPad. Savannah sees a woman on video call smoking a cigarette.
Door.
Savannah shuts the door and sits. The woman has a tropical digital background which definitely does not match her vibe. We get closer and we see the woman is Polly, our lost lamb.
Relax. I'm here to help.
Polly exhales. Smoke fills the screen.
I'm offering you a fresh start, a new life.
We met. Who are you?
Think of me as a friend of a friend. There's an envelope taped underneath your seat. Inside you will find instructions. If you agree to follow the terms, you will be released by sunrise.
Why should I trust you? I don't even know your name.
Another screen pops up. It is a live video footage of Jack, early 30s, sleeping in a solitary prison cell.
Jack, right? How long does he have? 3 more years? I can make the call that gets him out in a week.
Who are you? What do you want with...
You have everything you need.
Polly hangs up. Savannah hesitates before reaching underneath the seat. Interior, the floor, night. Ben and Zoe sit across from each other. They study packets labeled after their cover identities. Ben bites on the tip of his pen. He has AirPods in.
I think we're supposed to work on these together.
Ben can't hear her. She waves in his face. He removes the AirPods.
We should do a cross analysis, make sure we're solid.
Yeah, I was thinking since our profiles don't know each other, we should probably split up, cover more ground.
Zoe unfolds a building map of the party location.
Do you actually think she turned?
You don't?
I don't know. Polly wasn't necessarily the easiest person to read.
Probably what kept her alive all these years. Have you figured out what you're gonna do if she makes contact? You know she will, right? It's only a matter of time.
Zoe's phone rings. She sees the caller ID and sighs.
Sorry, it's my boyfriend. I'll call him later.
He doesn't know.
I've always wanted to ask. Did your grandma know? I mean, when she started dating your grandfather, did he tell her about Shepard?
Yeah, but not consciously. He sleep talks. She's a light sleeper.
Zoe chuckles.
What about you? What's your dating life looking like these days, Gold?
My grandfather thinks dating is a distraction. Also, there aren't many women lining up to date a guy who still lives with their parents and grandparents.
Can I ask you something? Why do you want it? Why do you want to be a lamb?
Why do you?
Exterior, jail, parking lot, day. Wendy has her laptop sitting on the trunk of the car. She types furiously. We catch a glimpse of Holston and Zoe making out inside the vehicle. Wendy doesn't see Savannah approaching. Savannah bangs on the car to get her attention. Wendy jumps. Holston and Wendy step out.
Jesus, you look like. Let me try that again.
Your nose.
We need to file a report as soon as.
Holston, not right now.
I know exactly what'll cheer you up. We found our first negative 1-star restaurant. I figured we could go straight there.
Savannah shakes her head.
I need to see Jack.
Interior prison, visitation hall, day. Savannah waits with other visitors. A prison guard, Gerald, 30s, comes out. Savannah tilts her head to see the person behind him. It's an old man. The man approaches his wife and kids.
Miss Cohen.
Savannah gets up.
I'm sorry.
Savannah nods. She takes out a pocket-sized photo from her wallet and gives it to him.
Can you please make sure he gets this?
You're gonna have to mail that in. You have his mailbox number.
Did he say why he won't see me? Actually, it's fine. It's all good.
Jared looks around before pocketing the photo. Savannah nods, grateful. Act 3. Interior, Wendy's apartment, living room, day. Holston and Zoe cuddle on the couch. Miles sits on the floor playing a video game. Wendy fixes a charcuterie board in the dining area. Savannah stands beside her, zoned out.
Miles, get your gross feet off my coffee table.
Miles grunts.
I gotta work on my pitch for work, but I can come over when I'm done. We haven't had a sleepover in like what?
Focus on your work. Fine, really.
Wendy leaves. Savannah joins Zoe, Holston, and Miles in the TV area. Miles offers Savannah a game controller. She takes it.
When are you planning on telling us how you got out so soon?
Zoe?
Oh, I'm sorry. The owner had a chance to change of heart. I didn't know that.
Your line was babe, and then Savannah.
The owner had a
this in some pages.
Okay, Miles?
Mentioned something about a call that came during the grave shift last night.
It doesn't make any sense.
Savannah pauses the game.
On second thought, I'm gonna head out. My apartment's a hot mess.
Come on, let's at least finish this round.
Savannah kisses Miles on the cheek.
Another time.
Savannah leaves. Holston turns to Zoe, Holston turns to Zoe and Miles, glaring at him. Exterior, hallway, day. We follow Savannah down the hall to her apartment. It is on the same floor as Wendy's. Eviction notices are taped to the door. She sees a large package with her name on it. Interior, Savannah's apartment, night. She carries the package to the kitchen. Her apartment is unbelievably messy with pants, shoes, and crumbs everywhere. She opens the package to find a dress, high heels, and a pair of gold earrings and a necklace. She fetches the envelope from her purse and reads the message inside it. 232 Barrington Court, Palisades, 8 p.m. sharp. She checks the time on her phone. It is 3:56 p.m. Interior, Wendy's apartment, living room, day. Zoe puts on her coat.
You're leaving? We just got here.
Remember I told you the intern with the bad veneers called in sick? The ER is short-staffed.
Holston meets her at the door. They kiss goodbye.
You should check on Savannah. Apologize.
Exterior, suburban street, night. Zoe knocks on a parked van. The doors swing open. We see Pearl, Ben, and 2 tech informants inside. Interior, van, night. Zoe and Ben are dressed in cocktail attire. We see surveillance footage of people at the Mars party on a desktop. Informant number 1 gives Ben and Zoe earpieces.
Again, all you need is to find out how we can get on the wait list for the next dog collection drop. It's the only way we're going to be able to buy in and have eyes on Boz's operations.
Why can't we just hack into their database?
That'd be a gamble. They could hack us right back.
Oh, and before you go, I know Harvey mentioned that your performance tonight will be evaluated. I need you to forget all that. I want you two working together, not against each other. Got it?
Zoe and Ben look at each other and nod. Interior, hallway, day. Holston knocks on Savannah's door. She opens the door halfway.
Can I come in?
I was actually about to head to bed. Did you need something?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry about earlier.
Savannah nods.
I didn't even ask. How was your visit with Jack?
She yawns.
Alright, I'll let you read.
She shuts the door before he can finish. Interior, Savannah's apartment, living room, night. We see Savannah is completely dressed up in the outfit from the box. She puts on her shoes and grabs a small purse. When she reaches for the door to leave, her phone rings. She answers.
An inmate from Crofton Grove Detention Center is attempting to reach you. Press 1 to.
She taps on the number. Interior, prison hallway, night. Jack, now 28, scruffy, tall, answers. I don't think our Jack is here, so I will read.
I can.
Please do. Go ahead.
Hello? Savannah.
That's me. Let me just read the description. Jack leans against a landline in an orange jumpsuit. Inmates stroll past him.
Savannah.
In a cut with Savannah.
Yeah, I'm here.
God, it's nice to hear your voice.
A nostalgic smile forms as he stares at a family photo of himself at 18 and Savannah at 14. The two are squeezed in between their parents. In the background, we see a Georgetown University flag hanging from one of the buildings.
I got your photo. You want to know what's funny? It almost feels like I'm back there again. Like it hasn't been a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, photos are kind of famous for that, Jack.
Jack chuckles.
I swear you're beginning to sound a lot like Mom. Like the way you just said that. Mom would definitely.
Why didn't you want to see me?
The weekend you all came to see me off at school, I remember Mom telling you to change before we left. She said that dress was way too short, so you went into the house and wore something else. But when we got to the airport, you went into the bathroom and changed right before we began boarding.
Jack.
Savannah, I'm the one in here, okay? This is my life, and it's on hold because of my choices. I can't be responsible for you wasting yours.
We hear a bell in the background.
I need you to promise me you're done with all of it. No more running with the wrong people. No more getting arrested for stupid stuff.
Savannah wipes a tear from her face.
Savannah.
Yeah, I promise.
The line disconnects. Interior, country club, lobby, night. The main lobby is filled with party guests, late 20s to 60s. They mingle with drinks in hand. At the center of the room, a classical orchestra plays. Zoe enters. She ascends the grand staircase and spots a group of 4 women. 3 of them circle Katia. mid-30s, angelic beauty, commands attention when she enters a room.
I simply cannot watch him do another horrendous impression of John Mayer.
The other girls laugh as Katya has an invisible shock collar. Sorry. The other girls laugh as though Katya has an invisible shock collar around their necks.
This is Katya Davidson, Laz's wife.
Zoe nods and walks right up to Katya.
Hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. This is so embarrassing. Do you have a
Zoe shoots short glances at each of the women.
Oh, of course, yeah. The bathroom is completely stocked. Follow me.
Thank you. You're a lifesaver, really.
Gosh, where am I mannered? I'm Katya. This is Sherry, Gabrielle, and Liberty.
Sherry, 36, hard to impress, condescending. Gabrielle, 35, no filter. And Liberty, 26, insecure, offer a polite smile.
I'm Lauren Bradshaw.
Katya loops her arm with Zoe's. They head towards the bathroom. The other ladies watch, jealous. Zoe admires the beautiful hall in awe.
This place can feel like a maze when you're new, but you want to know what my favorite part is?
Katya lifts Zoe's chin up towards the ceiling. It is completely covered in mirrors that contrast the colors of the actual ballroom, reflecting back a black and white mirage. Interior, country club, game room, night. It looks like a millionaire's man cave. A group of men, 50s, stand around playing pool. Ben sits at the bar with a drink in hand. He glances over at a gray-haired man. Baz Davidson. Looks like a car salesman.
That guy apparently used to be the CEO of Hershey's. Can you believe it?
Ben turns towards the wall to speak into his mic, but stops short when two bartenders walk by. One of them, Evelyn, mid-20s, psycho, starts cutting lemons.
You look like a creep just sitting there alone. Join the other men.
What am I supposed to open with?
You hear them too?
Ben looks up to see Evelyn has leaned over the bar counter towards him.
Huh?
I hear voices too.
Ben nods.
No, I'm not doing that. What's wrong with you? He's clearly a good guy. You are good, right?
She raises her knife as she laughs and casually punches him in the arm.
Of course you are. If you weren't, you'd be over there.
She glances at Baz and his friends and turns around.
She's flirting with you. Flirt back.
Ben awkwardly looks around the room.
Gold, to be clear, I meant flirt with her, not the wall.
Evelyn fills his glass.
I don't hear voices, by the way.
Me neither.
I was rehearsing. I've been trying to work up the nerve to talk to you. Now you probably think I'm weird.
Smooth, Gold.
I am weird by religion, so you're in luck.
She nods for Ben to follow her.
Oh.
Evelyn makes eye contact with Baz before grabbing Ben's hand. They exit towards the back. Interior, country club, kitchen, night. Zoe and Katya join the other ladies we met earlier. Please mute. Okay. Thank you. Zoe and Katya join the other ladies we met earlier, Sherry, Gabrielle, and Liberty. They sit at a counter in the center of the kitchen. Chefs and servers move around them, sauteing and plating gourmet meals.
We are beginning to worry. Period. Girl kidnapped you, something? Did you see that article in the Times last month? Apparently someone kidnapped every 42nd. Now that's just in the US.
Sherry empties a bottle of wine into her glass. Sherry? Is Chelsea there?
I'll read it.
Who's having
She's here. She's here.
I witnessed a kidnapping. I was walking home after school. The girl was barely 12 feet ahead of me. The van drove right past me and two guys hopped out and yanked her off the street, like they were picking up bananas at a farmer's market.
Gabrielle laughs. She sees Katya looks concerned. She stops. Liberty?
I can read it.
Go ahead.
That must have been traumatizing.
It truly was, Liberty. That day I got solid proof that I'm not wanted.
Sherry, you know that's not true. Paul is madly in love with you.
Katya takes off her own heels. The other ladies do the same almost robotically. Zoe finds herself also reaching for hers but stops short. Mira, late 50s, head chef, exotic accent, brings over a gigantic tray of assorted seafoods. Mussels, clams, shrimps, and an impossibly large buttery lobster. Page 40, top.
Nope. Nobody leaves until this is empty. You hear me?
The ladies nod lovingly at Mira as they each grab a piece.
Mira, our husbands will leave us if you keep feeding us like this.
Great. Then you find real men.
They all laugh. Catherine?
Sorry, what page again?
Same page. 40. After they all laugh.
Oh. Who is your friend?
Interior, country club, attic, night. Evelyn ushers Ben up to the attic stairs. Ben sees the floor is made from reinforced glass. They have a panoramic view of everything happening in the main hall below them.
Come on.
Ben steps on the glass. They lay down and watch.
This is beautiful.
Your turn.
My turn?
Now you know what it's like watching you people from the outside. So tell me, what's it like watching us little people?
Ben notices Evelyn is in deep thought. Cut to Ben's hands strangle Evelyn. Wait, did I skip something? No. Ben's hands strangle Evelyn. Her body lays on the glass, lifeless. He sees his reflection in the glass. Cut back to reality. Evelyn turns to face Ben.
I don't know why, but I feel like I can trust you. I'm in love.
She points at Bas through the glass as he makes his way towards a group of 4 men who look like hitmen. Interior, country club, kitchen, night. 7 empty wine bottles line the countertop. Liberty, Sherry, and Gabrielle are in mid-argument. Zoe and Katya listen.
Someone, I won't say who, saw them on that new swingers app. That's all the rage.
How does one invite a stranger to their bed?
They've only been married 2 months.
At this, Gabrielle.
No. At this rate, only God knows what they'll be in 2 years.
Katya picks up 2 unopened bottles.
I'm cutting them all.
She motions to Zoe, who picks up the 3rd remaining bottle and follows Katya. In exterior, country club night. Savannah stands at the front entrance. She stares at her phone screensaver, a photo of her and Jack as teenagers. She puts it away and enters. We see Pearl's white van in the background. Interior, country club, wine cellar, night. Zoe and Katya enter. It is dark, but Katya finds her way around easily. She reshelves the wines and pulls out a blunt.
Where did that come from?
Katia points behind the shelves. She lights it.
Tell no one, not even girls.
Zoe nods.
How long have y'all been friends?
Or not, you soon learn it's easier to get through these things together. You're lucky, you know? You won the lottery. Literally? Excuse me. You're lucky, you know? You won the lottery. Literally. I honestly thought those things were a scam.
Katia passes the blunt to Zoe. She takes it.
You got to have the money and everything that comes with it. Without the man, don't get me wrong, I love us.
Yeah, you two seem really great for each other.
I was a grad student at MIT when we met. He presented a keynote on leadership during one of our seminars. The entire time he was on stage, we couldn't take our eyes off of each other. As cheesy as that sounds, 2 weeks after I dropped out, by Christmas, we were married. 2 years and 2 kids later, I wanted to go back and get my master's. When I told Baz, you want to know what he did? He surprised me with 5 dogs for our anniversary. So I dropped it.
He bought your silence.
He's cheating on me. I've known for a while and I want to leave, but everything I have is in Mars dogs.
Here we go.
Have you thought about selling?
I don't know who has that money is part of his network.
I get it. You're scared. You've depended on Baz for so long that you're scared you're going to drown if you try to swim on your own.
If this is all I'm ever going to amount to, I guess it's not so bad.
I don't think you believe that. What if I could help?
Interior country club ballroom night. Savannah ascends a grand staircase. She keeps her head down, trying her best not to get noticed. Interior office night. Sam, 29, scary, large scar on his cheek, watches the country club video feed on a wall of at least 8 TV screens. We see Savannah on one of them. We see Polly sitting on the chair across from him.
That's your lamb. I'd get Baz out of there before she gets too close.
Sam gives Polly a questionable look.
I'd move fast if I were you.
Polly gets up and leaves. Interior, country club, attic, night. Continued. Ben watches Evelyn light up.
We're going away to his beach house next weekend, away from all of this.
Baz seems like a busy man. He must love you very much to make the time.
He does. He even gave his wife a dog on their anniversary named after me, Ava 1.0. He was going to use my full name, but Sam thought he was being reckless.
Sam?
Sam Rappaport, his boss.
Wait, I thought Baz was the CEO.
Evelyn laughs. Oh, sorry. That's Evelyn's line. Sorry.
Yeah.
Typo.
Everyone does. Baz is the face of this company, you know, because of his background in the corporate world. Who would you rather trust with your millions? A 29-year-old college dropout with a record and a dark past? Or the ex-CEO of Smiles?
They hear someone cling a champagne glass. Interior country club hall night. Baz stands on the stage with a drink and mic in hand. I guess our Baz is not here. Anyone want to take Baz?
You can do it.
Go ahead.
Welcome, everyone. We are here today to celebrate the recent announcement of the next release of the new 111 Dogs dropping on December 1st, just in time for Christmas if you wanted to surprise that special someone or yourself.
The crowd laughs.
The waitlist is now open to everyone here tonight. All you need to do is scan the QR code underneath your wine glass. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers.
Baz hops off the stage. The party goers proceed to scan their wine glasses with their phones. In intercut attic. Ben notices there's a girl following Baz a little too close. Savannah. Security guards intercept and rush Baz towards an emergency exit. Savannah stops and seems to be contemplating her next move.
The girl, do we know who she is?
Do you think he'll leave his wife for me?
No.
Wait, what?
Ben spots a group of scary looking men across the hall. They point at Savannah and whisper. One of them, bald, pulls out a gun and hides it underneath his suit. Ben gets up.
I'm so sorry, I have to go.
Intercut, ballroom. Katya leads her drunk friends outside.
Am I dead?
Driver is almost here.
Zoe comes out of the kitchen.
Zoe, we've lost Baz. Take the emergency exit, find out where they're taking him.
Zoe rushes towards the emergency exit. She stops in her tracks when she sees Savannah across the hall, only a few feet away. She turns the other way, trying to hide her face.
Zoe, what are you doing? Baz is getting away. I need you to move. Now. Zoe. Zoe!
End of Act 3. Act 4. Exterior, country club, night. Savannah walks through a dark corridor. Interior, country club, hall, night. She rushes and looks around for Baz and Savannah. Exterior, country club, night.
Zoe,
Okay.
come in.
Zoe rips out her mic. She pulls out a gun and attaches a silencer. She spots Savannah approaching and quickly hides behind a pillar and waits. Savannah passes in front of her unaware. The bald bodyguard creeps behind Savannah. He quietly pulls out his gun and points it at the back of her skull. As he reaches for the trigger, Zoe fires and shoots him in the leg. Savannah stops in her tracks, trembling. Ben arrives at the scene and sees the bodyguard's bloody leg. He can't look away.
Please don't hurt me.
Savannah turns around and sees both Zoe and Ben with guns.
Zoe? What the hell is going on?
The bodyguard's walkie echoes.
Is the lamp still a threat? Come in.
Ben and Zoe look at each other. When they glance back at the bodyguard, he's reaching for his gun. Ben beats him to it and plants a bullet between his eyes.
Oh my god.
Get her out of here.
Ben nods. He grabs Savannah and they rush towards the van. Exterior, country club entrance, night. Zoe approaches a valet.
Have you seen a group of 4 beautiful women really drunk?
The valet points at a Mercedes driving off.
Shit.
Interior, van, night. Ben and Savannah hop in.
Who's this?
Interior, shepherd, the floor, night. Harvey, Pearl, Ben, and Zoe listen to Savannah explain.
She said all I had to do was show up and shake hands with the man on stage, and all my charges would be dropped. She also promised she would make sure my brother got released.
Why would Polly go through all this trouble to risk the life of a civilian who just happens to be your friend?
You were right all along. God, how did I not see it before?
I'm sorry, can someone tell me what's going on?
Zoe looks to Harvey for the green light. Anyone can read Harvey if they feel like.
I think she's around anyway. She might as well know what's coming from her. What's coming for her.
I'm a Shepherd recruit. Shepherd is a classified agency that operates within the CIA. The woman you talk to is Polly Kramer, our lamb. She is America's unofficial undercover executor. Unofficial because Shepherd is excluded from the rule of providing fair trials to American criminals. 4 days ago, she disappeared over $10 million during a meeting with Baz, the man she told you to approach.
I got involved with a serial killer?
We see Ben shift in his seat.
If serial killers got their assignments from the CIA, then yeah.
The only way she's been able to live a normal life is because her anonymous identity always comes first.
So this boss thinks I'm a killer.
Not a killer, the killer.
Polly has been lamb going on 30 years. As you can imagine, she's made a lot of enemies, but her adversaries never had to face to go off of. It's only a matter of time before word spread and each and every one of the criminals she targeted starts coming after you.
I just need to tell them it's all a mix-up, and I'm not hurt. For heaven's sake, I can't even bring myself to step on the roaches in my apartment.
Harvey laughs.
I didn't ask for this. You have to help me. What do I need to do?
Play the part. Pretend to be Arlan. They already think you're her.
Why the hell would I do that? You just said I'd be a walking target.
In return, we'll train you to defend yourself. You're our only direct link to Polly at this point. Harvey?
She's want this choice alive. Hosting Zoe until Savannah can prove that she can take care of herself. He doesn't go anywhere without either of you.
Oh, what's it gonna be, Savannah?
What if she comes after my brother?
You can try to move him to a secure location. I won't lie to you. It's only going to get more messy from here onward. So make sure this is something you really want to do. Take the night. Think about it.
And if I say no, I'm on my own.
Harvey leaves. Pearl sends her an apologetic look. Wendy follows Pearl outside. Savannah notices Ben is staring at the blood stain on his sleeve.
Sorry you had to do that. If I hadn't been so stupid to make a deal with a killer and attended that party.
Then we would know real lead on Polly.
Interior, Zoe's car. Night, moving. Zoe drives. Savannah sits in the passenger seat. Silence. Interior, Savannah's bedroom. Morning. Wendy badges in, waking up Savannah.
Did something die in here?
Savannah jolts awake. Wendy doesn't notice the sheer panic she is in.
Where did you go last night?
What?
Last night, I came by and used my key. You weren't here.
I went out.
That's it? You went out? What's going on? You've been acting weird since you got out. Well, some things that has something to do with how you got out in the first place. Is he right?
Savannah looks away.
I'm your best friend. You can tell me anything. You do know that, right?
Savannah hesitates.
Fine, but you have to promise to never mention any of this to anyone, especially Holston.
Wendy nods. Interior, Savannah's bedroom. Moments later.
Zoe? As in Holston Zoe.
Mm-hmm. It still feels like a fever dream. Now I've dragged you into this and you're probably not safe either.
I know you're scared, but you're not alone. But I am running late for work.
Maybe I should come with you. I'd be safe there for sure.
But then you'd literally be bored to death.
Savannah groans. Exterior, Peter's office. Day. Wendy eavesdrops.
This is the strongest pitch I've heard all week. Interviewing convicted rapists about their relationship to sex in prison. Brilliant. This will start important conversations around the legislation of sex rights. Between you and me, the bosses upstairs see great potential.
Lisa opens the door, glowing. She smiles at Wendy and exits. Interior, Peter's office. Day. Peter ushers Wendy inside.
Wendy, I think this might not be the medium for you. You're a great reporter, but we want someone who runs towards you instead of away from you. Maybe that's not you. That's okay.
The entry period doesn't close till midnight. Give me one more chance.
Peter exhales and nods. Interior, Harvey's office. Day. Ben sits across from Harvey.
How's your grandfather?
Much better since the heart attack.
You know, sometimes I think he's going to outlive all of it.
I won't be surprised.
Go. You more than anyone knows that the rules. Cadets are not authorized to kill. You're not a lamb, not yet. But according to Zoe's report, it was dark. Both of you could barely see. And not only was your life in danger, but there was a civilian involved. There were multiple guys with them. You made the best call.
Ben looks up at him, confused.
In a couple of days, you're going to meet with the council. And you're going to tell them exactly what your record up till now has been. You're going to tell them exactly that. Your record up till now has been spotless. I don't see why they would make a big fuss out of this little hiccup.
Henry nods.
You see a bright future for you here. Just don't give us no reason about that.
Interior, Shepherd, training room, day. Coach Eric addresses the class.
Please welcome our newest recruit, Savannah Shue.
Savannah waves awkwardly.
Like every one of you, she will attend class, train, and go on missions.
We hear quiet whispers.
All right, pair up.
Savannah watches as each person finds their partners.
Ben, why don't you get Savannah up to speed?
Ben joins Savannah. He demonstrates a backward takedown move. Savannah tries to replicate it, but fails laughably.
No offense, but this is ridiculous.
Try grabbing my hand.
Ben flips her over and she lands on her back. She groans in pain.
Again.
Interior, Shepherd, training room, later. Everyone has left except for Savannah and Ben. Savannah does a near-perfect hand movement. Sorry, I lost my spot. And twists Ben's arm behind his back. He winces. With part of his shirt lifted, Savannah sees the self-inflicted scars on his back. She lets go.
You ready?
Yeah. Sorry you have to babysit me. I'm sure you have better things you could be doing in your time.
Not really. I really don't mind.
Interior, Thai restaurant, night. Savannah, Wendy, Zoe, Holston, Miles, and Ben sit at a table eating.
For a five-star restaurant, I have to say these spring rolls are delectable.
See, you've already forgotten about the rat we saw.
Holston watches Ben, who looks very uncomfortable.
Ben, how are you liking the Crofton Hospital so far? If Wendy bosses you around, you let me know and I'll have a tough chat with her.
Wendy's been quite helpful, actually.
Exterior, street, night. Savannah and Wendy walk home. They glance at Holston, who is following behind them.
You should invite Hot Spy Bodyguard up for a nightcap. Give him a proper thank you for saving your life.
You're disgusting.
Wendy laughs. A blonde woman, 30s, pushes a stroller past them. As she passes them, she reaches into the stroller and we see the baby is a doll. The woman pulls out a gun and aims it at Savannah. Ben reaches for his gun and points it at her head. He pauses and instead drops his gun and tackles her to the ground. Savannah and Wendy turn around to watch them struggle with her gun. The woman punches Ben in the jaw. Ben undercuts her arm and disarms her. She kicks him in the leg and he tumbles. She grabs the gun and points it at him. Savannah uses the takedown move he taught her earlier. While it is sloppy, it allows Ben the chance to topple her over and put her in cuffs. Woman, laughing. We're not going to stop. We'll take you down. The American people deserve to know what you're doing. Exterior, street, night, flashback, continue. A van pulls up. 3 agents hop out. Savannah and Wendy watch Ben hand over the woman. Laughing. Your secret's out, lamb. Your secret's out. Interior, Wendy's apartment, night. Wendy and Savannah wait near the door. Ben enters and makes sure it's safe before they go in.
Are you sure? The last thing I want to do is put you in danger.
You're staying.
She's right. Even though you're on the floor above her, you'll be safe here for now.
Can you please grab my PJs? I can't sleep without my body.
We'll figure something out. I'll grab some blankets.
Wendy exits into her room.
Don't open the door for anyone.
Ben takes out his gun and offers it to her. Savannah hesitates before grabbing it.
Saw the scars on your back. If you need someone to...
I should go.
Ben leaves. Interior, Wendy's bedroom. Night. Wendy opens up a new document on her laptop and types. She turns to watch Savannah. Sorry. She turns... Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I understand if you feel I may have misled you. This is not my intention. I hate to sound blunt, but whether you believe me or not does not matter.
Okay. I think I skipped, sorry. She turns to watch Savannah sleeping peacefully beside her.
Again, the story isn't about me. It's about you. my fellow Americans, they are going to kill you.
End of Act 4 and end of script. Thank you all so much. All right. Now we are going to move over to the feedback portion. Please feel free to give me your thoughts, any feedback you have, and anything that you think you could, or I could do to improve the script and make it clearer and just much more smoother. I'm listening and I'm taking notes.
Okay, I'll open the floor. So it was really great reading this. It was really fun. It was a fun read. You put a lot of thought into it, and I know you've edited it a lot, which is good. I would love to see like the original script though, like the first if you still have it. The only thing that I didn't find clear, that I would like that you should make it clear, is the part where that's like in the last scene. Is Ben getting psychological help or physical help, or because they mentioned like how's he liking the hospital, and that came from nowhere. Does anyone share those sentiments?
Before I answer, did anyone have the same question?
So the way I understood it, I was thinking like maybe like the hospitals are covered for the program at the end. Is that not correct?
Yes. You said it was a cover for who? Sorry.
For the agency within the agency that they work for, like they report to.
Got it.
Is that not what you think?
That's close, actually. It's actually a cover that Wendy made up to like lie to her boyfriend, so she wouldn't have to tell him where she actually works. So it's not a cover for the entire agency. It's just a cover for her. But I should make that clear. Thank you for clarifying that.
For Wendy or Zoe?
Sorry, Zoe.
Right.
I should know my characters, right?
I think that main difference was in the script, so that was a little, I think it's supposed to be Zoe, but written this movie.
So what I did was I changed their names recently, and now I don't know who anyone is. But yeah. Destiny, any other notes?
No, that's all so far. That's the only thing I need to clear.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So, first of all, this is great. It's, like I said, it's just really awesome that you wrote this, worked so hard on it, worked on it for years, like, awesome stuff. The only thing is, so this is a pilot episode of a TV show?
Yes, it is.
It feels like a lot, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just feels like a lot happened. Like, it almost feels like it could have been a film or something. Like, it's the plot is, but I think it all works really well. I don't really take anything out, so this is not really helpful, but I just, it's a lot. It's a whole story.
Yeah.
I personally found it pretty interesting that as soon as Savannah becomes the top secret spy, she kind of just tells her friend immediately. So I was wondering, like, I guess it would be realistic, because if that happened to me, I'm probably going to tell my friend, like, something happened. But that's just something that I was looking at.
Sorry, can you say the last part again? I didn't get you. You said what made it?
I'm not saying that it's not realistic. I just thought it was an interesting thing, because to put yourself in her shoes, obviously you probably talk to at least one person about it. But yeah, that's just what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to ask you questions because I want to clarify. So you're saying it's interesting that she became a spy, or that she told her friend?
I'm saying that it's interesting that she immediately told her friend.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe hiding it, or like having a friend try to figure out what's
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was expecting, this was my expectation, that after she told Wendy was gonna use that for her story. Because remember, Wendy's like struggling to write a story, and I thought she was gonna use that as inspiration, but that never came. I was just hoping. Did you have that in mind? Did you take that out, or?
Does anyone know the answer to that question before I answer it? Oh, okay. Okay, so I need to clarify. John?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
No, so when Savannah tells Wendy about her recent experience of the whole encounter that she was unaware of, I was expecting the next thing when Wendy was eavesdropping on Lee's on I can't remember her name, about the story that they're writing. So I thought she was gonna bring that up as an inspiration for her story, but I am not quite sure if Janice took that out or if she had that in mind, that train of thought in mind.
So I need to clarify a lot. Thank you for bringing that up because everyone seems lost on that as well. So at the end, if like literally the last page, like the last line is basically Wendy narrating the story, and she's been narrating the story from the very beginning. So she is actually using it, and we know from the very beginning that she is using it. So the entire narration is her, like basically doing it as a podcast. So she does end up getting the role or the desk.
Oh, okay.
Should I clarify that more?
Yeah, that was because I knew she was narrating a story, but how did I not get that? Okay, yes. Question answered.
Did anyone else find that confusing? I just want to know if it's a big issue I should fix.
No, now that you say that,
Good.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. But I'll still make a note though, just to go over it and see what I could do. But Haroon, your question about her telling her friend, I did kind of feel that way too. Like, okay, she just gave in too easily. So I'll rework that a little bit.
And also, like in addition to that, I did put a note on that little in interaction. Like I wanted more dialogue. Like it was a little too quick. That whole scene, like she gave in, Heron said, she gave in a little too quickly.
Yeah. I will fix that.
I have a question about Ben.
Yes.
You're muted, Jen.
Oh.
Sorry, I was saying I will fix that, and yes, go ahead, Tamara.
Is he secretly like a sociopath or like a serial killer?
I'll open that to the floor.
Absolutely.
It like that thing that I was thinking was like when I first read it, I thought like that stuff happened, like that the first kind of bit where they're like in the firehouse with Reed and all that. But then is that a dream, like a dream of his, or did that actually happen? Because I know like in your description, the character says like he has a dark past. Is that like his past that he's like recollecting?
Anyone have a thought on that?
I thought it was real. Like I didn't think it was real.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the page because I feel like there was something mentioned, like the phrase serial killer came up and he like squirmed in his seat or something. I'm trying to find the page, but I feel like he's remembering stuff that he did. Like
there's the part where also he like was strangling Evelyn, but then it says back to reality. Not like a fantasy.
That was okay. So that was actually one thing. I was like, is that Evelyn's fantasy or is that his fantasy? But then I thought like, no, Evelyn is in love with Baz, so that must be his fantasy. But the thing that I thought that he was a psychopath. I think I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. The part where he, like, during the dream, and the lady's like, help my daughter, and he holds her, and it says that he thought that joining the good guys was what was going to save him, but instead he realized what he's missing out. So it's because I feel like he's a character who's having this sort of internal battle of, like, he has the urge to kill, because, like, he kills that guy instantly without even trying to, like, debilitate him or anything. So he does have that instinct to kill, but is he going to act on it, or is he not going to act on it? There was that, like, battle for me.
No.
Yeah,
I agree.
Page 49, Savannah asks, I got involved with a serial killer, and then the note says, we see Ben shift in his seat. So there's something going on with it.
Any other observations before I give you guys my final?
Did Ben quick question. Did Ben self-inflict himself with wounds? Because that seems a little creepy.
You know, that gave me, I'm going to go out of context here, but Grey's Anatomy, there was this guy who he was a pedophile, like he had thoughts, but because he didn't want to act on it, he cut off his penis. And then he went to the hospital and they had to reattach it and everything like that. So he ended up killing himself because he couldn't bear the thought of like hurting a child, but he knows that he was going to act on it. So it was that was where that took me to, was like inflicting yourself with pain to know that you get punishment if you went on this rampage. You know what I mean? If that's the same, yeah.
For me, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was like scratching his back, right? I just felt like it's kind of like an awkward thing to do. So I was just wondering, like, I really like the idea of the self-inflicting wound, but like, in my opinion, it might be more powerful if you can like immediately see what he's doing instead of having to be in the mirror. But that's my little tidbit.
No, thank you for the observations. I'm gonna start with Haroon and then go backwards. So you're saying it might be better to have the scars be on a more visible place, or am I not getting what you're saying, Kurt?
So he is, self-inflicting wounds on his back, right? I just think that like, how is he gonna do that? He's constantly in the mirror trying to get like the right angle before he like scratches across his back. That's what I was thinking when he was doing it. So I was like, and honestly, it could work if he was like really trying to be really weird about it, but like that's just what popped out to me.
Do you have any suggestions?
His chest.
His chest. Okay.
Honestly, I would say, because it seems like he's trying to hide it. I would say like maybe his like armpit or like his inner thigh.
Sorry.
Like, somewhere.
I'm sorry.
Like, because like he's trying to hide it, and like he seems like a perfectionist. He doesn't want people to see his flaws, and scars are pretty visible. Not to say scars are bad, but, people can see those immediately.
But then, if it was there, how would Savannah? How would you work? In your opinion, how would you work it to a way that Savannah would see it? Because she sees it when they're fighting, right? It's when his shirt is lifted a little bit. So if it were in the place you're suggesting, how would you work that scene?
So if I'm being fully honest, the way I read their interaction, it seems like they will form a relationship. So when they're, eventually, unless I'm wrong, when they're eventually intimate, I feel like it could be done. But just from my understanding of the character, the point is to hide things. I feel like he realized he had to take his shirt off at some point. And, those questions would be asked. And it seems like the kind of situation like, the agents might be asked to become sexually involved with their targets as well. So that's just how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. That's a great point. I will take that note and work on it. Thank you. And just to clarify everything, so Ben actually has never killed before this episode. And the entire time, like all his life, he's had these fantasies of like killing. And so everything we see, like him with the kid and like the fire, it's a fantasy sequence. And then him strangling Aveline is also a fantasy sequence. And he does the self-harm to like, remind himself not to do it. Like every time he thinks about it, he punishes himself, basically. What else? Yeah, so him killing that guy was just like, I don't know. Now I kind of feel like it was too easy. So would you guys say it would be more powerful for him not to kill this episode and like kind of hold it back to like maybe the finale of the show or something? So it's like more of a big deal? Or did you feel like it was natural for him to kill this man and see that as like an opportunity to just do it? Even though, like his whole goal is to wait to become lamb so that when he kills, it is lawful and not, just like a psychopath.
I think the way around it is for him to name instead of kill. Like maybe he like incapacitates the guy by like breaking his arm and the guy passes out. So he hasn't killed the guy, but he's also maybe gone a step too far.
Yes. I like that a lot.
Might depend on the projection of his character too, like where he goes in the future. Does he want to be the lamb, like deep down?
The only reason he does, sorry to interrupt you, finish.
No, go ahead.
The only reason he wants to be lamb is so he can kill. That's the only reason. He doesn't care about his legacy or his parents' legacy or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really like that firefighting sequence in general, like because I saw like the conflict there. To me, I thought it was like, oh, he doesn't really want to kill. I had a suspicion that he didn't want to be lamb, but because he comes from this family, his father, his grandfather, the pressure just kind of put it. I was projecting that already into the future for him, but that could be off there.
Thank you, John.
And also if he wait, because I saw that scene as good, as like I thought there was nothing to change in that scene personally, because in his mind that was a lawful kill. That was a civilian in a combat situation, Yeah. So I thought that was okay to keep it there, because if he dismembered or maimed that person, there should be this there will be like an intense scene that follows up, and his character, like the scenes that follow, will not coincide with that kind of action, if that makes sense. Am I making sense?
I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for him to like go off alone and like hurt this man to the brink of death and then follow up later, and then we find out
that would be more of a reason for them to kick him off, right?
Yeah. So what if during the last scene where Savannah is explaining everything, what if Ben isn't there? What if the final scene is of him and this guy who he caught, like the bad guy? What if the final scene is with him and the bad guy and he's like torturing him?
Yeah, I like that, but I was thinking like, this is just what I was thought. Like, you could almost still have that scene exactly where it is, and maybe the guy he shoots the guy or whatever, but he just wounds them, and he's kind of like the guy's like on the ground hurt or whatever, and like maybe Ben's like coming over to him, and you kind of cut from there, so we're not really sure what happens, and then like wow, Wendy's like voiceover towards the end, like we see the final scene, and maybe it's the final scene when Ben is like killing them or something like that. Because I think with Ben, he's like interesting. He's kind of like, it's only what I got from him was almost like two personalities, like one that he hides and then one that he kind of mask he kind of wears. So I think that's kind of like an interesting kind of thing to see. And I think it would be good for him to kill like in that first episode and then follow it down, like how that affects him later on throughout the season or whatever in the episodes, just to see like his psyche afterwards. I think that would be kind of a cool way to end it, in my opinion.
I agree. Because it does sound like he has actually, he said that he's been kind of like having these fantasies for a long time. So I'm not really surprised that he did kill someone in that scene.
Oh.
And I feel like he's using this cop, being a cop or whatever, as a cover up to hide or to use it as a way so he can justify what he did is right, but really it's not right. And you said to have him by himself, killing or not even killing,
torturing to the brink of death.
Torturing the guy. I feel like he should add like a witness, but not like the person. But he doesn't notice that the person was there, witness that was dead. But I don't know.
That's interesting.
But they're like maybe they're like they see it, but they don't. They just hide. It's like scared and just like tries to run from it, and he doesn't notice that someone actually seeing what he has done. And yeah, there's a thought.
I like that idea. Thank you, Tasha.
Kind of building on that, what if like the conversation between Ben and Pearl is between Pearl and Zoe, and she's talking about what Ben did, and she's kind of like, he just kind of like freaked out or crazy or something. So, because there's a thing between two of them, like they're competing for the spot. So I feel like it adds a level of complexity. Is she trying to write him out because she wants the spot, or is it because he actually, went off the rails and it seems like something's wrong, and maybe he's unfit for the spot, maybe he's unstable.
I really, really like that. I love that. Yeah, because I think that builds more drama and it kind of extends the issue that we presented a little bit longer and doesn't just shut it. So thank you. Any other thoughts? Actually, I want to clarify on something Aiden said. So, can you just repeat what you said, Aiden? I kind of got lost.
Yeah, like the whole thing?
Please, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I also, the witness thing, I really like that. That's really another cool idea. The way I was thinking too is like you have this scene where he shoots the guy basically and he's injured or whatever, and then he's kind of like maybe Ben, walking up to him or something, and you're not really sure what's going to happen, and the scene kind of just cuts from there. And then at the end, it's kind of, I always like a theme, like a voiceover, while something else is going on. So I don't know how you can word that, but the end is always the last scene or last shot basically is Ben either torturing this guy or basically killing this guy. And then if you want to have a witness side of it, I don't know, I guess it would be Zoe or something, maybe her reaction to seeing that or something like that, I think would kind of be really cool, kind of interesting.
Wait, who sees it?
Do you say Zoe was that? See it? Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. But also, what is Zoe's relationship to killing people? Is she pro? Is she against it? Is she neutral? Is it, whatever?
That's a very good question. I honestly hadn't thought about that, but because killing people is not something that you do with ease, and the fact that she is in here, that means there's something wrong with her. Destiny.
So I had a train of thought inspired by Aiden, where if if everything stays the same, because Savannah already shot him, wounded him, this person, but what if he escapes? And unfortunately, Ben is unable to, like, Ben sees him escape, but he's unable to get to him in time. And the last scene is like, after Ben is having like this whole trauma, like, you know, he's having a debacle within himself. Like, there's the battle of like to kill or not to kill. And he finally decides to kill. And he goes out and he finds this guy. Like, he searches and he looks for this guy because he's a bodyguard or something. And looks for this guy and ends up doing that. Right before where Wendy, I was thinking that, is there a way that Wendy could be the one saying it? Because she's the narrator. And it still goes in with, "You're going to kill you." In, you know, like that whole part that she says at the end. That's where I was thinking.
So you're saying after everything happens with the bodyguard guy, Ben goes out and tries to find him and kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And would this all happen within this episode, or do you mean like as the show goes on?
So this is okay. So as the show goes on, like, this is the I hate suspense, but like this is the suspense of the next episode, like what's going to happen to Ben after this, kind of, if the story is taking that direction. Yeah.
I'm just curious as to what do you think would be his motivation to find this specific guy instead of anyone else?
The whole situation, because when I read it, I felt like he felt justified in the killing, like when he killed the guy in that moment. Of the fact that he's found his friend Savannah, who, because of him, they now know that he's part of the reason why they know she's the lamb, right? So he blames her for his friend's identity being out there.
Interesting. Okay. I will think more on that. Thank you. We have a couple more minutes. Any last final notes before I let you guys go?
Is there any more backstory between the relationship between Holston and Savannah? Because based on what Rita said, how like she basically calls him to have the Cooper girls, I don't get why he's still friends with her. Like, why he's still looking out for her.
That's a good question. Any other observations with that?
I wrote down a bunch of notes, but maybe I should just email them to you because I don't know.
I can stay on. By the way, if you have to leave, please do. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm learning so much, and I took down so many notes from this. So thank you guys so much for your help. So if you need to leave, please do. If you can stay, stay. But John, we can talk. Tamara's question. So, Holston, yeah. So basically, they've grown up since they were kids, and Holston is addicted to drugs. And there's this story that Rita talks about, like when they were, in high school, he OD'd at her party, and she's not the one who gave him the drugs. They were just drugs at the party, but Rita holds Savannah accountable because Savannah is just a F-up person. And she's like a bad influence, basically. So Holston doesn't really have any bad feelings towards Savannah. I don't know if that clarified it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a kind of like sibling vibe-ish.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't really feel like a pilot in a sense, because all the scenes jump from one to another. Some are short. I get you make a few short to add characters, some new characters, some continuing characters. It feels longer, if that makes sense. But it was a good read. But like all that happened in just one pilot.
So I'm getting to 2 notes about how it is a lot of characters and it's a lot. I will confess and say that's a trend in all my scripts. So I try to make simple things, but I just can't do it. But
I think like it can be like an issue if it's like too many characters and it becomes like really confusing. But I think like I think you do a really good job kind of just like keeping things like I don't think it's like I feel like everyone is kind of it seems like everything is kind of attached to one another. It doesn't really seem like it's like these different parts
Just
and it's not
random.
really connected. Like and then kind of like at the end it comes full circle with like Zoe and Savannah kind of coming together. So I think it's like I thought I think they worked well. I think like it is a lot of people, but like I think you were able to kind of connect it really well.
And also, like, if it is, it won't be this long. It might be maybe I'm thinking like maybe 45 minutes at most because you read a lot of the directions that were just like she nodded or he smirks or she smiles, like the things that a character would do. So you have to put into account like it was 2 hours. It was an hour and 40 minutes, I think, this whole read. So if you want to put into account like that extra reading and like the technical difficulties, it's about 45 minutes. So it's not that long, but like Jesse said in the beginning, it reads like a movie. Like it was really, for me, it was complete. There was nothing left to ponder. It was like a movie.
Yeah, everything fits together. All the characters fit together. Everyone has a place to play in the story. So reading through it and hearing everyone give their parts is like kind of understandable why you have all these characters, why you need them in it. But it does feel more of a maybe 2 episode.
Wait, Catherine, can you please elaborate on why it feels like too long?
Or me?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it like the length of like us reading or something else?
No, it's not the length of the. I mean, I have to picture how me trying to picture each scene from one cut scene to another, the flashback in the beginning, then to the current scene, introducing to Savannah, and then going to some other new characters into another cut scene. I mean, I don't watch TV shows like that, so I can't really like give my input of like
Janice, what I would say is that it really depends on the scale of the story you're trying to tell. As someone who also has an interest in screenwriting, I've also heard that you should think of each page as like a minute of showtime. So if you have 110 pages, the runtime is going to be 110 minutes. So, like I said, it's all a matter of how you see the story going. And like everyone says, I like how interconnected everything feels. But I feel it's come together a little too quickly. Like after she basically gets inducted into whatever they have going on, Ben and Wendy are immediately friendly. It's almost like they always know each other. There's no like feeling out period. There's no period where like they get to know each other or Wendy even learns the scope of what Savannah is dealing with. You get me? It just seems like, okay, I'm a secret agent. I told my friend, now my friend knows all the secret agents, and now we're all
Yeah. I agree. In reading that, I felt like, okay, this is kind of wrapping up a little too quickly. I will take that note.
Yeah, you can expand that into like the next episode.
Suspend do that over the course of the season. Developing and letting those relationships come up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Haroon, you might know this, but typically when you write a TV pilot, you have to kind of set up what each episode upcoming is going to look like, right? And so I just want to hear from you or anyone else, like, did this do that for you? And in response to Haroon's note, if I was to end it earlier, where would you say I should have like cut it off and been like, oh, this is okay. I get what the show is about and what it will be about.
So I kind of would have ended it with the conversation between, or the potential conversation between Pearl and Zoe, because at that point, you know, major action has sort of been resolved, and now, you know, where we don't necessarily have all the answers, we don't know how it turns out, depending on like how you view the other notes you got about maybe not showing what Ben actually did, or like, you know, cutting away from it and stuff like that. I feel that would be the perfect place to kind of leave a sort of cliffhanger to get people to think about, okay, what happened, like what just happened, and you know, how does this continue to evolve?
I would say before they head to the party, like, because up until that point, we've been introduced to everyone and we know everyone's backstory, except for like Baz, his wife, and we haven't met them yet, but we heard about them. So I would see like the next episode, okay, now they're at the party, now all these, you know, everything that happens at the party happens, and then the ending conversation with Savannah and Wendy.
Interesting. Can I ask you, you as a viewer, right? You're clicking on this show because, let's say, the poster is like, this is a thriller, this is a spy thing. If you watch the first episode and none of that happens, would you be okay with that?
To be honest, I was with Catherine when I first read this. I thought it was reading a film script. Like, I thought it was a movie. But, like, I wouldn't mind the cliffhangers. It would, you know.
I think some pilot. Oh, sorry. Apologies. I think some pilots where it does hang on a cliffhanger, and kind of keeps the viewers, like, you know, invested in a way. You have to find a way to catch the viewers' attention, so that they look forward to, like, okay, so what's gonna happen next? And yeah. But up to you.
No.
I think like I think too, like, just like on that point, if you did want to go that route, I think because like, I think like I know like you label it as like this thriller, but I think it has a lot of like character development. And I think you can kind of get away with it not having like a thrill a minute sort of thing if it is based on like character. Like, I think of Breaking Bad as like a great show, just like character development, that not everything has to end on a cliff note. Or not cliff note, or like a cliffhanger. Kind of just like I just think you start to grow with the characters and understand them. So I think if you did want to go that route, I think it would work with this, because I think there are a lot of varied characters, and I think there's a lot of like that the viewers can sort of find out a little bit more about them without necessarily having to deal with action, you know, all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Aiden on that one as well, because like, I think somebody mentioned this earlier, like the relationship between Savannah and Ben, where is that going? Wendy doesn't really, like, we understand her. She's introduced to us as Savannah's friend, right? Savannah's best friend, but we don't really know her backstory. Like, what is she about? And somebody like Zoe, like, what is Zoe about? Like, we know that, yes, she wants to be a lamb, or does she want to be a lamb? Because she doesn't really answer the question. You know, there is a lot of character development that could happen, you know, with or without the action. And I think, yeah, it's really good. I personally, my opinion on like ending a pilot scene on a cliffhanger it's good because you get to capture, and others are like, oh, what is going to happen next? But there are some people out there who are like me again. I'm like, if the pilot takes too long for the next scene to come, I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch this. But there are some people that lose interest within the first couple of minutes of a show or an episode. So you also want to capture their attention at the beginning and at the end. So I honestly I love this read, but somebody else might have a different opinion on that. It should be more attention grabbing. If it is a thriller, like there should be a little bit more action from the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, you did a good job of building Ben, and like the characters. The characters really kind of captured, especially Savannah and Ben. Those two characters, I really enjoyed like hearing about them and stuff. Especially Savannah, she's like an interesting girl to learn from. So for me, it's mainly the characters that kind of keep my attention in certain like TV shows and stuff like that. I don't care about the whole big action scene. That one character can keep my attention. I will continue to watch it.
Thank you, Catherine. I do want to ask, did you guys feel like, let me ask actually, I don't want to spoil it. Who would you say the lead of the show is?
I was thinking to myself, who is the lead of the show? I'm going to say Ben at this point. I'm going to keep it up.
Okay.
No, I think it's Ben too.
Me too. I think it's Ben, but I think Savannah might like a little added flavor.
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
I think it was Savannah.
Who do you think is the lead, not who you want to be the lead?
I think it's when it first started, I thought it was Wendy, right? When it first started out, I thought it was Wendy, but then it kind of shifted to Savannah for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can answer it both ways. Tell me who you think the lead is and who you would want to follow mostly in this show.
Oh, I want to follow Ben.
Ben, okay.
So
Yeah, I like Ben.
So
Okay.
I think as I said earlier, Ben is a good thing. But I was also wondering about the structure of the program itself. Like right now we're in the characters, but I feel like the program is kind of like too far in the background. I would like it to be more structured around what goes on around this team. You know, we know what their goal is, but like I just noticed like the fact that Zoe's allowed to have a boyfriend. I was like, wait, you guys are like super spies, and are you saying she gets to go to happy hour and stuff like that, and she's just living she's living like a Hannah Montana type thing, like she's just vibing girl. Like, that's what I was thinking. But just just give the organization itself a personality. You know, who's paying attention to the girl? You know, what are the cadets not allowed to do? What are their boundaries? You know. I was really interested in characters like Legend and Pearl and Polly, and I was thinking, what is their relationship? How do they feel about each other?
Actually, I changed my answer. The lead character is Polly. That's who everybody's looking for. And who I would want it to be would probably be Ben, because he's just really weird and interesting. So I would be interested in seeing how his character develops.
Okay. Can I answer Haroon's thing and then Tamara and then I'll go to Destiny? So Haroon, so there's this conversation that Zoe has with Ben about her dating, and she asked about his grandparents, like, oh, did the grandpa know? So they are allowed to date. You can't have that strict, boundary on anyone, I don't think. But the thing is, with them, they're just recruits. They're not actually spies. This is them, like, they were sent to that event just to, like, go spy out and get info, right? So they're still in training until they decide who the lamb is. Is it going to be Zoe? Is it going to be Ben? When they become lamb, then I guess the rules are a little bit stricter, but I do need to, like, kind of, build that out a little bit as to, like, what happens when you are the lamb. Like, yeah, I think they still can like have relationships and have families because Ben came from a lamb, like his grandfather was a lamb.
I understand.
And then the cover for her is like I work at a hospital. Yeah, and then Tamara, you said Polly is the main character. I think she will come in the show at some point. I was thinking maybe like the season finale, but that might be too long to like have her actually show up. But like from this episode, she is basically just like this ominous person that pops in and pops out. And I didn't include this in this episode, but basically Polly comes back to Savannah and is like, you're gonna keep working for me as like my informant. Like you're gonna be my eyes and ears in Shepherd. And you're gonna basically be like a double agent. Like they think you're working for them, but you're actually working for me type thing. And then she like releases her brother. So that's where it's going. And then Destiny, you had a note.
Yeah, I was going to say that I had it just a moment ago. Sorry.
I can ask a question while you're thinking.
Yes.
Okay. So for me personally, Savannah is the lead. And so I want to hear from you guys. What is she lacking? Why don't you guys like her?
Oh, I got my thought.
Yes, Jessie.
I was gonna say that I thought that there was no restriction on their dating, like Corinne said, because it was mentioned that with Polly, their personal life, she was able to hide because their personal life is what comes first, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're able to have normal lives. That's how they have succeeded for so long. And look at his grandfather, and they've been able to hide. You should be perfect at hiding your secret identity, so not to put your personal life in jeopardy.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
There was a line where I wrote, but I took it out, where Harvey says, like, anyone who's seen her is dead. Anyone outside of Shepherd who's seen her, like, in action is dead. So maybe, do you guys think I should keep that in there to kind of, like,
I just want to clarify my position on that. When it comes, I'm not saying that they should be like a monk. I'm just saying, for me, I feel like it would lead to a lot of, liability.
Mm.
And on top of that, it just gets to a point where, like, how long are you going to do this charade of, like, I feel like it's like a trope at this point. Like the superhero who has a relationship with someone who doesn't know that they're a superhero, and it causes a lot of strife in between them, and it's like, how many times have we seen something like that? Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But, do whatever you want.
No. I agree with you. Like, we've seen that trope a lot, which I didn't want it to be a trope that our leads have. So I kind of gave it to, like, the, Zoe and Holston because they're side characters. And also I just feel like that creates drama. So it's an easy way to kind of, like, have that, but yeah, I should think more of that. It is very tropey.
Because Savannah is going to be the lamb, right? She is now the lamb. So, like, I see what you're saying with that, because they're not gonna be the secret agent. Savannah is, and she doesn't have a boyfriend. She doesn't, like, well, it's said, it's not said explicitly, so yeah.
Jessie?
Yeah, so I also thought Savannah was the lead, and this is sort of, not that I thought that it was too long, but what I meant about it feeling like a movie, especially with her, like, not that it was long, but that there's so much plot, and especially with Savannah, she has, like, a whole life within this episode. Like, she's, like, 14, there's background info on her brother, and, like, she goes to prison, she meets this person, she does a whole plot to get out of prison early, she does the spy event, she's, like, joins the police, goes to the course, and all the way enough to be able to, like, take someone down with what she learned there, and like it's almost like that. It's like so much stuff that I feel like that could almost be like a character's whole journey for a whole season. And then I feel like in contrast, like Ben might seem more like interesting or intriguing as a main character because he's got some more like mystery around him. Like he's got these weird fantasies, the flashbacks. He's got his like wounds and stuff. He's just a little more like I wonder if Savannah would be. She was like a little bit more mysterious, or like you saved some of her info for later. But yeah, I guess.
Jesse, you just blew my mind because I was thinking I didn't have enough Savannah. But you're like, nah, she has everything. I was like,
no, I mean, or just like the amount of like information about her, I guess. Or but I don't know, maybe you have so much more in mind, so you were like just trying to get all of this.
Yeah, I think I was feeling insecure. I think I was feeling insecure because someone had told me in another script that my lead was like the least. My lead had the least amount of information. Like they didn't really know my lead. They knew all of my side characters. So I think I took that and I put it here and I overdid it. So it makes sense.
But not even like I just went hard. I still think it's great. Like you have so many good ideas. Just like maybe you could spread them a little bit.
Yeah, I will.
I think it's a strength to have more stuff and then want to like.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. John, did you want to spitball your notes?
Yeah, sure. All right, I'll just try to just read them out as fast as I can. Right? Here we go. Okay. Really like the short scenes. I really like the quick dialogue, especially for this kind of genre. Nice, tense dialogue, especially when it got into the sort of the suspense. I won't say exposition, but sort of suspense-ish kind of dialogue. I really like the cadet training scenes and that competition there that was developing between Zoe and Ben. I really like that too. I think if I was watching that as a viewer, I'd be really captivated by that competition to see who becomes the lamb. You could even go farther with that, maybe. I really like Savannah's character. I love main characters who are faulty, who have faults, and they can surprise us with other things. I think overall, the whole story is plausible enough for us to, does the CIA have this kind of program? Probably not, but it's plausible enough for the viewer to sit back and enjoy and watch it. Maybe they do. I have no idea. But the club scene overall, I really liked as well. Okay, so that's all the really good stuff I like. And again, the firefighting scene is great. So really quick, just a few things that kind of made my head sort of tilt a little bit. It's like the prison scene, really funny with the shaving of the legs, or the shaving of the bunions. I don't know would that happen so fast within hours? She's already like doing that to somebody. I don't know. It would probably make a laugh for the audience, but I'm not sure. The card code thing also.
Sorry,
funny.
can we go line by line and just talk about it? So that was a question I personally had, so thanks for bringing that up. I honestly don't know how prison systems work. And so if someone is put in jail for like holding, can you put someone in jail for holding without going to court? Like, I honestly don't know.
Yeah. But you put in a holding cell before you go to, because then you go to before your court date, you're like in a holding cell basically.
And is it like a solitary? Do you have someone with you?
No.
It depends on the station.
Yeah, it depends. But like they can have it where it's like multiple people. But it'd be like more in and out. It wouldn't be like you're like there. Like the people that are in they kind of come in and out.
Yeah.
Some are there waiting for a few days, some are just there for an hour and they get bailed out.
So when I read that, because Savannah has been in jail multiple times until somebody, I don't remember, I think it's Wendy who said the number. I don't remember who has saved the number for the jail. So when I read that, yeah, that kind of like brushed over me because I felt some sense of familiarity and not, in the sense that they, like, you know how when somebody comes into prison and is trying to be like the main boss, you know, and they boss you around to do certain kind of things, and that I felt like in her in and out, and maybe this guy also has been in and out, and they sort of kind of have like know each other in a way that she knows that he's my boss, or you know, he's the owner of the cell, in that kind of sense.
That would make more sense. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's where my head just brushed over, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. I'm gonna add that in there and clarify that they know each other, maybe. Okay, got it.
And he has major anger issues.
The card code thing, the punching the card code, is funny. I don't, it's completely unrealistic. I don't know.
Sorry, what's the card? No, you mean the car code? Yeah.
The car code, when she punches on the code. Yeah.
Can you please elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, she closes her eyes, right, and just presses the code, and then. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, the card deactivates. So never mind. My bad.
Okay.
She gets it wrong.
Yeah, she gets it wrong.
Yeah, that's right. All right, my bad.
Thank you.
So okay, I'm gonna skip over some of the little things. Some of the kind of, not to like throw this big thing at you, but back to the many characters thing. I thought some of those characters could maybe be combined, particularly Harvey and Legend could be combined into Pearl, maybe. And that would maybe kind of make it. It also solves the problem with Pearl. Just accepts the fact that the United States is killing people when he goes into the whatever it's called when he first goes into that. I found out a little bit head tilting there. But if he's the main contact and he's there the whole time through the training and everything, it might solve that problem. And I don't know if Harvey, like, all these characters are distinct and they have cool personalities, and I feel like they're all well drawn. I wonder if as a overall they might sort of whittle it down, make it sleeker. Speaking to that effect, maybe Rita, I don't know her, like, I'm not sure what she brings necessarily. Holston and Miles. Not to say they shouldn't be in the character, and maybe TVs have a bunch of characters like that especially for comedic purposes. I don't really know. I don't know the format that well. But I also have a crazy, stupid suggestion, maybe. But like, what if Wendy gets cut? If you cut Wendy out completely and the whole voiceover thing, it's probably a big change. But like, I just didn't feel very invested with her, especially her telling the story. Because I don't know what. I guess she is invested at the end when she hears about everything. But yeah.
Can I add
Savannah,
something before you continue?
The three main characters. Sorry, what?
Sorry, I wanted to ask you a question before you continue. So, I wanted Wendy to narrate because the entire time she's vying for this podcast seat at her company. So, her narrating is her basically doing the podcast. Does that change anything for you?
Yeah, I mean, I got that, the whole narrating, the podcast thing at the beginning and then how it connects to the end.
Okay.
It's cool. It's like a cool concept. I really like the whole idea of it being
this podcast. Maybe Zoe could have the podcast in some weird kind of way. I don't know, some kind of like it's just windy. I'm not very connected to her with the other characters, I suppose. It's just the person. I hope that's not annoying.
No, no, that's interesting. Does anyone else agree or have a thought? Destiny has her hand up.
No, I was going to add something that just came to mind. If Wendy is narrating this story, how in your opinion is that going to continue over the course of the story? Because when I said it read like a movie, because everything came full circle. It was complete in the sense that she said what she said. We get the point of the story. And if it was a series, how would that continue? Because what other part of the story could she be telling? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Can we put that on hold and answer it after John is done? Thank you.
That's pretty much it. Sorry for talking too long.
This is very helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate your notes at the beginning and also the very difficult notes that is going to give me a lot of work to do. Thank you. To Destiny's question.
Just put it all on one. Just put all the characters' names in one.
Yeah, just basically, yeah. I'm going to have a lot of work to do after this. So just to close out everything, because I don't want to keep you guys too late, what do you, after reading this, if you're watching this on TV, what would you say the next episode or the next few episodes of this season would be about based on what you just read?
I think it's about Savannah, doing something with her life instead of just being a delinquent. At this point, she's like 19, right? Or she's like early 20s at least. It doesn't sound like she is very interested in college. But and I guess it would have to do also with Ben figuring out what he's doing. Is he really a killer? And as well as some of the side characters as well. I think obviously their stories are tied in with Savannah, so maybe a lot of them would resolve their own issues with her.
Sorry, I didn't get the first thing you said, her, and it was a little bit muffled. Can you just repeat what you said? What would happen? Like the first thing you said.
I said that Savannah would probably end up doing something with her life instead of just stealing cars or something,
Something like
become the greatest secret agent of all time, or the best man we've ever seen, or anything like that.
Okay, so staying within Shepard, is that what you mean? Or going off elsewhere and doing other things?
Staying within Shepard.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Anyone else?
I feel like maybe learning more about Savannah, seeing her growth through Shepard, maybe, and then who knows, maybe later on she will kind of like separate herself from it and try to like find something else. Maybe we'll tie towards what Ben may do in the future, or something like that. Maybe she might be his saving grace. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, I like that.
Also, because I was thinking about how when this character would go throughout the story, like where would her story be going? If she was like doing a podcast, is she anonymous in the podcast within the story itself? Because the names are changed, right? But the CIA won't, if in a script like this, they won't hear something like this and like not kidnap you or to not say because you're spilling state secrets. And is she going to also be at risk? Is she going to have to hide? Is she does her opinion of they're going to kill you change throughout the story in the sense that does she get to understand why what is being done is done? Like, this also goes into the part about her just like being okay with what Savannah tells her in that scene. Is she like, yeah, that scene should be expanded a little bit more so that we can get Wendy's opinion on the situation, because now she says they're gonna kill you. We get that, but I still don't get. Is she against it? Is she for it? Is she neutral? Is she neutral about it? Like, what is her stance exactly on that, on the whole thing? Is she warning Like, she's warning Americans, but is she just informing, or is she like, you better run, they're gonna kill you, or yeah.
Any thoughts on that before I answer? No? Okay.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is Wendy's podcast? Where is it set at? Is it set currently or in the future?
That's a very good question. So her podcast begins, I want to say, the next day after the script ends. So everything she's telling us has already happened. And that's when the podcast begins. But in terms of Destiny's question, she's a journalist. She can't really have a side. But it is a warning for sure. Like, this is something that's going on, but it's less so about, like, that's a very, I'm kind of conflicted now, because if she's telling people like this is real and everything is real, it's a matter of like, do we believe it, right? Like, also, will her publishers allow her to like just talk about this? Wouldn't they want to know more? And so maybe she makes it fictional, like, oh, this isn't real, like everything is just fake, like I'm just making all of this up. But then we find out later, or people start finding out like, oh no, this is actually like a real thing that's happening. But you're giving me a lot to think about.
Yeah, to answer your original question, like where do we see it going? I would say this kind of reminds me of like The Last of Us. So the pilot, we found all these characters, we learned a little bit about them. The next episode, I would want to see more of the relationship between Savannah and Wendy, since they are like the main characters, like more of their backstory. And then I guess the episodes following, like the backstories of the other characters that are like important, like in priority, I guess. And also more information about like Polly and CIA and like everything that's going on with the agency and the training and all of that. So,
And like a little bit backstory on how Shepard came about.
Yeah.
Because on the Excel spreadsheet, let me just look at it real quick. It said that Zoe couldn't believe that Shepard betrayed her. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. I lost it. Okay, here we go. Oh no, okay, that was her mentor turned against her. Okay, never mind. That was one whole thing off.
No. These are all questions that I don't have to answer because this is a pilot and I don't have to care about what happens after this. Unless this was to get picked up as a show, which I doubt it. This is just like a writing sample.
Don't doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are things I should think about in order to like strengthen this pilot. Anyone else want to chime in to like where this is going? If not, I will ask one final question. Do you guys think the title fits the script? Yes or no? I'm gonna say that's a no.
Wait, what's the title again?
My friends, they're gonna kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Aiden.
Just storytelling ties to like the larger story. Like
Yeah.
I think of stories, I think of arcs. After this arc is done, or how long will this arc be in terms of like, I don't know. It just depends on the scale of the story. Like I like it as a title, it grabs my attention, but how
I
does
feel
it
like
stand in relation to what the overall story is going to be?
Mm.
yeah, I feel like that's the title of the pilot, not the whole thing.
Mm. Yeah. I think like that idea of the title, but like maybe like in a shorter way, to kind of like grab people. I just think 'cause it's like a real full thing. I think like like the title of the pilot. That's a cool title of the pilot. But as like a title of the show, I don't know. Like I think like have like the same idea and feeling of like the title of it, but like I think I don't know, for me like maybe something a bit shorter, a bit like I guess like a bit easier for people to kind of say.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it short so people can remember it.
Yeah.
Titles are hard, man.
Battle within.
So I actually, so the story behind this title
Lamb,
is
I actually like Lamb. That's kind of cool.
sorry,
Lamb.
just lamb.
Lamb.
Just the word lamb. Okay.
The lamb.
The lamb.
I think that's cool too.
Is that the real name of like these people? Like
No, everything's made up. It's made up.
you made it up? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Shepherd is made up.
I
Lamb is made
I
up.
do have to go, but Jan, I wanted to say that do a reading again, but like you said, don't participate. Just listen to what is being read, because you were participating, and I was like, I really wanted her to sit back and just listen to it and let it resonate and see how it's going. So yeah, try to do another read, or even if it's just two people reading it out loud and you just listen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard
I want to say I
definitely.
just put the connection between lamb and shepherd.
Shepherd's lamb.
I don't know if you did it on purpose, but I think that's very interesting.
Oh, you see the connection, Harun?
Yeah, I just happened.
There was a connection, yes. Do you think Shepherd is a cooler title or is Lamb?
No, I think the way it works, and honestly, the way I think like you can even have different ranks. Like now that lamb is like a particular kind, you could have sheep and goats, and you could have like a ram, and these could mean different things. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I'm so serious.
Wait. Harun, I can't hear you for some reason. Can you just say that again?
Okay, so I'm saying like essentially with like the title of the lamb, you could then evolve the classification system even more, and then go on to have other roles within the organization that is quote unquote led by the shepherd, and they could be goats,
Sheep?
they
Yes.
could be lambs.
So the idea was the American people are sheep.
Yeah, that's it. No.
But yeah, I think it's a appropriate, what do you call it, way to describe things. That was not a well-formed sentence. But yeah, any other points? Final thoughts? Anything? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I will be hosting another one of these for different scripts. A much shorter one, most likely a 30-minute pilot. So within the next couple months, I will reach out to you guys, and if you can join, I would love to have you again. Yeah, thank you again so much. I owe you guys a lot. So if you ever have anything you want me to join and help out, please, if you write something, anything, you have a short film, you need PAs, I would love to help you guys out with your creative endeavors.
A bunch of
as well.
haikus. You guys are down for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say, John, I loved your inflection, like your inflections in your voice, like reading, and I was like, I want to read like that without stressing. Just
I was sweating over here. I don't know if you guys could tell, but
I just tell you kind of stressed.
I was stressed out. I read this 2 days ago, and I was like, oh, I think I got it. And then it started. I was like sweating the minute I started reading. But that was all acting, Destiny. I was pretending. Yeah, I don't want to end this. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful rest of your week and night. And like I said, I'm here for you guys as well. So
This was fun. Thank you.
It was nice to meet you guys.
Thank you for all your feedback and the
See
really
everybody.
good things you said. Thank you. Bye.
You
Take
too.
care.
Adios.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye.